Good morning, South Florida, and welcome to this week's edition of the Frost Jazz Hour right here on WDNA's 88.9 FM, the home of Sirius Jazz. I'm your host, Marcello Corelli, and this week we have quite a special show for you for many reasons. The first is that it's just great to be up here hosting and playing at the same time. I'm going to do my best to multitask here today. The second reason being that I'm here with some of my closest friends and favorite musicians, including the great Martin Bejarano, who is actually Roy Haynes' current pianist and has been for 19 years. Amazing. So it's a pleasure to be up here playing with you. Martin has been our mentor for the Stamps Jazz Quintet for this semester. Unfortunately, we don't have the other two members with us today, but they're with us in spirit. That's David Snyder on trumpet and Jared Byford on trombone. But with us, we do have Mr. Maxwell Schwartz on bass from Berkeley, California. We have Timothy Watson on guitar from Lexington, Massachusetts. And like I mentioned before, Martin Bejarano playing piano with us. Yeah. And yours truly, Marcello Corelli. I'm from Bedford, New York, playing drums. So we have a great set of music for you today. It's mostly original music, a few of my compositions, one of Martin's compositions, and Tim's composition too. So it's a great mixture, and we're just going to bring you some live music and get right to it. All right. The Stamps Jazz Trio plus Martin Bejarano. That one was a tune of mine entitled Distractions. We had a lot of fun with that one. And this next one's actually going to be another one of my compositions, quite different from the last one. I'm going to slow things down a little bit with a nice bolero entitled Desesperación. Also, you heard from Martin Bejarano on piano, Tim Watson on guitar. Great. All right. So that was my tune entitled Desesperación, and time flies. We already have to take a short breather, but when we get back, do some interviews and talk a little bit about what the Stamps Foundation and the group is about. So stay with us. We'll be back in just a short while. Welcome back to this edition of the Frost Jazz Hour right here on WDNA's 88.9 FM, the home of Serious Jazz. I'm your host, Marcello Corelli. If you're just tuning in, we're here with the Stamps Trio and Professor Martin Bejarano. Just wanted to first kind of talk about what this group is about. Unfortunately, we don't have the other two folks with us. But the Stamps, as probably a few of you viewers know, is a quintet that was generously funded by Penny and Roe Stamps. It's a foundation. It's a charitable family foundation. The words cannot really express how appreciative we all are of this foundation. They've provided us the ability to get a great education here at the Frost School of Music and the University of Miami, of course. We've done a lot of playing, a lot of performing, traveling to places like Italy, Suriname, and states in the United States like California, and we've done some performing in competitions there, as well as Colorado. And we're all finishing up we have one semester left, so it's quite an amazing experience that we've been through, and I'm going to kind of talk with some of these guys about it. But yeah, we're all seniors and kind of preparing for recitals. It's all very exciting stuff. But yeah, I wanted to talk a little bit to our esteemed mentor here, Martin Bejarano. So Martin, thanks for being with us, man.
Well, thanks for letting me crash the party, so to speak. Alberto asked me about having the Stamps rhythm section, and I selfishly inserted myself into the equation because I just wanted to play a little with you guys, because the little bit that we did play early in the semester was so much fun. So, guys, thanks for letting me play with you. You all sound fantastic, as you listeners at home can hear. So thank you.
Well, it's such a pleasure to have you mentor us, though. I mean, we've gotten so much out of these first few months. It's been quite an adjustment for us, with the ongoing pandemic. But we've done our best, and we've been able to. We had a performance in front of our peers, and Martin was able to join us on a tune for that. And we do also have a record in the works that we're about to record. So I'll ask some of the guys about that. But I wanted to ask you. Since I'm such a huge fan of Roy Haynes, you've been working with Roy for 19 years. I was curious, what were some of the things that you really have learned from Roy, and how's it been the experience playing with him for the years?
Sure. Well, I mean, he's a hero of mine as well. So you can imagine, just to get that opportunity was very fortunate, and I feel very lucky, and to have done it for so long is, I feel, even more fortunate. I always say that, to me, the most thing that I've learned is, Roy is in his 90s now and was in his late 70s or when I first started playing with him. And we played probably thousands of shows, maybe, or close to it. Feels like it anyway after this long. So, every time that guy gets up to play on the stage, he just brings 150%, and it's never like phoning it in, or you know what I'm saying? It's just he comes at such a high level, and he has such a passion and joy for playing, even after all these years where he's literally played probably 10,000 gigs and played with the best musicians in the history of jazz, all the best musicians in the history of jazz. So for me, that's really the main lesson I took: not to take it for granted, not to let to feel lucky that you get to do what you do every night, and just to remember that we play music because we love it and we have fun and we're passionate about it, and even flying to Japan or something and then having to play a gig, and this guy's in his 80s and just brings the energy level like, I'm dragging myself to the stage, and he's like, "Come on, guys, let's go!" So I think that's the biggest lesson I've taken away from playing with him.
But obviously not to take it for granted, but like he saw something in you that he knew he had to have you in the band, and you can just tell with us playing with you, it's just so easy to interact with you and pick up ideas, and just like, the energy is always there, and it's such a great thing. So that's why I was going to ask you another question about is you have such a natural like sense of rhythm and the syncopations that you do. It's like almost like you're more of a drummer, you're thinking more of a drummer, and you've been playing with Roy, how have you kind of developed that sense of rhythm, that natural sense? It's been, yeah.
Well, it's like a lot of piano players. We all want to be drummers inside. Many of us, I think that's kind of a thing. I never wanted to play this thing, When I was young, I wanted to play that thing over there. I wanted to play drums like a lot of kids, And my mom was smart enough to tell me, well, if you take piano lessons for a year, and you stick with it, then if you want to switch to drums, that's fine. So I ended up sticking with the piano, obviously. But I always just was really drawn to drums and rhythm in general, no matter what music I'm listening to. And when I listen to, music, I'm always gravitating to the drums, sometimes even more than the piano a little bit. So just something I really, everyone has their own kind of thing that they identify with music, the thing that they kind of connect with the most. And rhythm has always definitely been a very big thing for me. So I play with a lot of drummers. A lot of my gigs have been with drummers. So I think maybe because I'm pretty, I like to learn what their vocabulary is and get into their head so I can connect with them and like you said, interact and have that connection, which for me is really one of the most important things in playing this kind of music. And for me, one of the things I love the most really is this thing here, this connection between the two instruments. So really, I'm just a wannabe drummer.
Well, that's great, and I hear you do play some good drums, like electronic. You make some of those tracks for your students for
yes,
for
my
improv.
finger MIDI drumming is I have some pretty.
It sounds amazing.
Pretty admirable skills, but behind that thing, that's not quite as much.
One more thing I was going to ask is do you have any recordings in the works? I know you're working on an album with your group. Yeah. Anything about that?
Yeah, well, like all of us, a lot of things got put on hold. So I recently got a commission from Chamber Music America, a ensemble composer grant. So I was all set to record my next trio record, titled Cuban American, in May. But of course, everything went south. So that's a little bit on hold, but probably going to be able to record that, if not over the holiday break, then in the spring. So I'm happy about that. I also recorded over the summer, I think like a lot of musicians did, or at least pianists, I recorded a lot of solo piano material over the summer. So that actually might come out before that. Nice. So I'm kind of going through that and have a little bit more to do with that. And then I have another record coming out with one of my favorite singers in the world, great Argentinian singer named Roxana Ahmed, that we just finished recording a lot of amazing music this past year, and I'm hopeful that that's going to come out not in the spring, maybe the summer. So,
a lot of stuff.
Yeah, a couple things
in the works.
Yeah,
so look out for Martin's new release, either on solo piano or with his trio, or with Roxanne. Pretty amazing. We want more music, and there's tons of releases coming out, so that's the positive thing. The recording hasn't stopped, and hopefully the live music can continue to come back. But
Amen.
We're going to get to some more music. Thanks, Martin, for being with us.
Thank you guys for having me, really.
All right. So I just want to remind you, viewers, that right here on WDNA 88.9 FM 11 a.m. next week, we'll have our esteemed Dean, Shelley Berg, with us. Have the pleasure of interviewing him and asking him a little bit about what's happening at Frost. The school is thriving. Unlike a lot of other schools that are at home during this pandemic, we're doing a great job. So I'm sure the dean has a lot to say about that. And then the week after that, we'll have my friend Josh Platt and his group will be playing on the show in 2 weeks. So look out for that stuff. But we're going to get to some more music, and I believe we're going to do a composition by Tim Watson entitled Melody for Daphnis. And by the way, Daphnis Prieto is also on the faculty here at the Frost School of Music, and he's been on this show a few times. So here's Melody for Daphnis. That was a beautiful, beautiful tune written by Tim Watson. So time is flying here. Only have time for one more interview, but yeah, I'm going to interview Tim Watson himself, the composer. So Tim, thanks for being with us, man.
It's a real pleasure, enormous pleasure. What a disgusting band. Oh my God.
Well, you're a big part of that, man. Yeah, it's been such a fun time playing with you. So I wanted to ask you a little bit about, I know you have your own kind of side projects going, a thing with Diego Melgar, who we've had on our show. We had him on here last week. And you're also your band, Junark. So I want to talk a little bit about that, what you guys have been up to.
Yeah, sure. So, well, with Junark, yeah, we've been doing a couple of live streams for the radio station at WVUM. And yeah, Junark is sort of like it's like a future pop music unit. We call it. It's with Justin Trout, who's an alum of this program, amazing saxophone player and really producer, and Bram Masla and Max Beck. Yeah, and I mean that's been a really satisfying project. Then with Diego, yeah, Diego's one of my best friends. We do like a gazillion things together. I'm not really sure which one you're talking about necessarily, but yeah, we've been making a lot of music. We just applied for this grant to do this sound sculpture, which should be fun, about like the dangers of algorithmic everything, social media, sort of a dead horse, but it's dead for a reason. Sort of dangerous stuff there, but
Sure.
how did I get here? Anyways, Diego. I mean, we've been making some cool music on the computer.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, looking forward to hearing that stuff, man.
Thanks.
Should surprise the world a little bit.
Oh.
Also, what are you planning on doing after school here? Because you're finishing up.
Yeah. So I'm gonna stay and TA for my teacher John Hart, which I'm real excited about.
Right.
Really excited about that, and doing a degree in classical composition, so I can write some nice electroacoustic music. Maybe use some of the 12 tones. I don't know.
Sure.
We'll see.
That's exciting, man. It's going to be nice to have you here for some more years. I'm sure Frost is happy and John's happy to have you. You can do a good job in the TA spot, man.
I like to think so.
Yeah, man. Well, thanks for being with us for a short while. We wish we could talk a little bit more, but thanks, Tim.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Yeah. All right, so we have one more tune for you. We're going to play it kind of into the top of the hour here. This is a composition by our esteemed professor, Martin Bejarano. It's entitled Old School, off his record entitled Trio Miami, with Josh Allen on bass and Michael Pilot, who's actually a former Stamps Jazz Quintet member. He was in the first quintet, and we are the third quintet. So maybe we'll be back on the radio show at some point with the whole quintet, but this might be our last performance, so stay with us for this last tune. And thanks for being with us right here on WDNA's 88.9 FM, the home of Sirius Jazz. right. Thanks so much for watching right here on WDNA's 88.9 FM, the home of Serious Jazz. Thanks for being with us again. See you next week at 11 a.m. with Dean Shelley Berg.